Hey there everyone, thanks for tuning in to another video review, and today I am reviewing the Hot Toys 1/6 scale Superman from Man of Steel. Now this is another figure that I've had for quite some time, and I'm just now getting around to do the review, and I also have the Jor-El figure, which is in the background right there, which I will follow up after this review. Here we have it, the first Superman figure we got from the new DCEU. And let's take a look at the figure itself. But before we do that, let's take a look at the box as we normally do. The box is pretty cool. I really like the giant Superman logo they have in the front. Usually we do see something similar to this. We don't tend to see the actual figure on the front of the box. And if you do have this, you can tell that the Superman emblem has some texture to it, which is really pretty cool, as well as the logos up at the top and the Superman at the bottom here. Let's take a look at that. And just get a quick turnaround. You can see another Superman emblem that's almost like a plastic label or sticker they put on there. And the back with all the credits. And again, the same on the other side. And just opening it up, we don't get that many accessories with this figure because it's Superman. I mean, there isn't really much. Just a bunch of hands you can see here. So I'm not going to really go into any of those. Now, one thing I really absolutely love is the command key that came with it. And that is right here. Let me get that into view. Let me get that focused for you all right there, if it'll work. There we go. So I hope that is focused well enough. And this thing is pretty freaking cool. It's essentially the 1/6 scale replica of the command key that we see him use when he enters his ship to communicate with his father and all the messages that we see him receiving. And it is just pretty freaking cool. I haven't had him hold it yet or anything. It might be too heavy for him to hold up, but it's still a pretty neat addition for an accessory for a figure that doesn't really come with any accessories other than hand pieces. Also in the box is the base plate that is the Superman logo as well. This thing is pretty massive, and although it's really cool and I love what they did with the texture of it as well, I don't really use the stand that usually goes with it, only because the figure is pretty tall and the base is so big that I want to fit other figures within the same case, such as the Jor-El figure in the background here. So I usually just kind of have it flat and balanced Superman on it. He does have pretty good balance, so it's not a big issue, but just be aware of the fact that if you still don't have the Man of Steel figure, the base is rather large, unlike a lot of the Star Wars or Marvel figures that we do get. So now taking a look at Superman as well. The head sculpt. So with the head sculpt, it's not that bad. It's not too great. I think overall this Superman figure kind of didn't really capture the body and presentation that we actually see Henry portray Superman as. The head sculpt, I think it's kind of too narrow, and it has that expression where, of course, granted we don't see Superman smile or have too much cheerfulness in the movie. In Man of Steel, he did have a little bit more cheerfulness than what we saw in Batman vs. Superman. So I kind of wish they had a different facial expression. And overall, the head sculpt, I think it's just a skinnier version. Not that, Henry Cavill is fat, but he kind of has a more bulky or squared look to it. And just depending on the angle or, how you look at the head sculpt here, I don't think it is the greatest, but at the same time it's not the worst. So like here it really does look like Henry, you can tell with the jawline and the nose and the face. I think the forehead and the eyebrows might be a little bit off, but it's one of those things where it's kind of hard to describe how it looks or doesn't look like a certain person, and in this case it's just kind of that gray area where it almost looks like a brother of his. So not too worried about it, not too disappointed, but also not entirely happy with it. And even looking at the rest of the body, I know in Batman vs. Superman and as well as Justice League, we definitely see Superman more of a bulky, massive, strength, muscle-built character, however you want to describe him. And we did see that come out from Hot Toys. We see the next two Superman figures, a more bulky, and muscly figure, and a little bit shorter to kind of portray how Superman looks. With this figure, I think they made him just tall and slim, athletic of course, but not, bulky like how Superman is shown in the films now. And even then we just get the generic body that I think a lot of the Hot Toys 1/6 figures do use, so that might be part of the problem as well. But you know, it's not too bad. It's still a Superman figure, so that's pretty cool if you are a Superman fan. And I have to say, I absolutely love the outfit. It's a perfect color of blue that they have on it, almost like a navy blue. You definitely get the texture all throughout the suit as well, even in the Superman emblem here. And it's a nice addition. It's not just a part of the actual suit, you know, you can tell it's raised from the rest of the suit as an addition. At the belt, which is a little bit different, we don't really have a belt anymore. We do see the, I guess, more of a texture. I think in Justice League is where we saw the actual Superman emblem as well on the belt piece, but not here, at least I don't think so, yeah. And throughout, you know, just moving that around, we have the nice designs and texture of the suit. You know, we had a very unique design brought to the new Superman outfit. And going down here, and the boots as well are pretty cool. And the cape, it's a beautiful red cape that contrasts very well with the rest of the suit. You know, it's not too bright, it's a nice red, it's a fiery red that goes well with the rest of the blue suit that we have as well, so it looks really good, and it's a nice material too. It's vinyl but soft, and doesn't, you know, get frayed or crease in a certain position. Now let me go ahead and bring Jor-El right here just to compare the figures. So, you know, you can see Superman is just slightly taller. In the films, I think it might have been a bigger difference in the height. I would have to rewatch Man of Steel, but it definitely, you know, isn't so significant. And here it's a pretty good comparison and ratio of the two different heights. So, nonetheless, I am very happy to have this Superman figure. He is currently my only Hot Toys Superman. I did used to have the evil Superman figure, and I just wasn't that much of a fan of it, so I ended up selling it. So I do need to get back into the other Hot Toys and Sideshow Superman 1/6 scale figures. So I hope you enjoyed it, you know, kind of rushed through this a little bit, but if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. Be sure to subscribe to all my pages and stay tuned for the next video.